Action! Hi everybody, it's me, Jay. We are coming at you another Theater Thursday. As you know, every Thursday I do a movie review. This time... My dog is opening my door. No! Okay. Back to the title. So this time we're going to be doing Gnomeo and Juliet from, I guess technically it's like the Disney Pixar area. If you haven't seen this movie, if you don't know anything about it, consider this your spoiler alert. I'm picking up the right one this time. And you know what? I'm going to put it way over here so I don't pick it up like the last time. There, mother. Okay? Because she was yelling at me off screen. Okay. So, Gnomeo and Juliet, there goes the train. Gnomeo and Juliet is the classic storytelling of the real, Shakespearean play, Romeo and Juliet, but it's like a cartoonist twist. Obviously, everybody has, I guess, their version or, their, look on it. In this version, it's in the world of, garden gnomes. So, there's, similar to how there was the competing classes of Romeo and Juliet, there's competing yards. There's this two people that live right next door to each other, and it's a red side and a blue side. Now these people, because they're red and blue, because they're so opposite, they just despise each other. They couldn't they can't get along. It's a ongoing feud. Now there's a young guy whose name is Gnomeo. He is on the blue side, and he's our take on our Romeo character. He's our suave, thinks nothing can hurt him type of character. And he's real confident about his yard being the best, and how in a way it's both yards think their yard is the best, but they both try to prove it by pranking the other one. So it's just that competitive thing. And on the red side we have our beauty, which is Juliet. Now everybody, because she's a girl, and because she's because she's a gnome, they treat her more fragilely. They treat her like she's delicate, and that she's she's a prize, if you will. She's something to, take care of, if that makes any sense. And, they try to, keep her on a certain literal pedestal, if you will. She has a pedestal in the red's yard where she stands and she holds a flower, and she's just supposed to stay there. But obviously, being kind of the spunky girl that she is, she doesn't want to do that. She kind of wants to, do more of the dangerous stuff, but her dad doesn't want to let her. And she wants to help with the whole, showing that the reds are better than the blues thing. So one day she actually is on top of a tree, and she sees this flower, what's called a Cupid's bow orchid, in a greenhouse off of the yard that they live. And so she wants to go get it, but her dad doesn't want to listen because, he wants her to stay on her pedestal and wants her to stay safe. Because, he already lost her mother, and, he doesn't want to lose her too. But she sneaks out anyway, so she, dresses all in black, and, she has her frog friend who, stays with her next to the pedestal, helps her sneak out, and then she goes to, sneak out, but then at the same time, Gnomeo is actually sneaking over towards the Reds' yard to try to sabotage it, and then he sees Juliet, but obviously he doesn't know she's a red, and she doesn't know he's a blue when they first meet and they touch the Cupid's bow orchid. So they instantly fall, it's love at first sight, and obviously they somewhat banter of who should get the orchid, but then they fall in a lake or a pond, and then they discover that he's a blue and that she's a red, and obviously this love is forbidden and it's not meant to be, but but she wants to fight it, and so does he. Like, obviously, it's the Romeo and Juliet thing. Like, the color of your hat shouldn't matter, I guess, and that's... So at first they try to, like, sneak away and, like, hide it from, like, her dad and, like, his friends, who obviously would go against this forbidden love thing. And, so they when they're meeting in secret, they actually meet this flamingo. And that he, like, gives them advice about, like, what love should mean, and, like, kind of concreting their idea of love can fight or mend many wounds in a way. It can, like, it could stop battles and, like, you know, certain things like that. So, like, he was telling them that they have the ability to, like, speak up and say that this feud shouldn't go on anymore and that it's stupid. But right when they are about to, maybe tell people or maybe start trying to stop the feud a bit at a time, Gnomeo's friend finds out about it. And so he goes to tell the people, and obviously everybody finds out through this, like, big fight that Gnomeo and one of the red gnomes have on, like, they race lawnmowers, so he's, like, trying to run Gnomeo over and stuff. And, like, they end up at the edge of a street, and then Gnomeo ends up going in the road. And then, obviously, it's found out that, Juliet wants to go after him, and then, she says, and then her father stops her, and then she's like, no, I love him. And then, obviously, it's the whole, like, crowd, what, like, gasping thing. But then a truck comes, and you see blue, like, plaster-ish pieces, so you think Gnomeo gets hit. And that, obviously everybody gets upset, and then they bring her back to her pedestal, and they actually, like, super glue her feet on. And obviously she kind of, like, I guess embraces that her freedom, I guess, in a way, is gone, and that, like, her love is gone. So she kind of takes her flower, looks at it, and she just, like, freezes as she's supposed to do, because she doesn't see, like, any point anymore, because she can't go anywhere. But then you find out that Gnomeo survived. He actually didn't die, and that he actually is trying to get back to the gardens and back to her. But then when he's, like, on his way, he actually talks to Shakespeare's statue. Like, there's a statue of Shakespeare, and he's actually talking about his love with Juliet, Gnomeo, and then he's like, oh, I wrote a similar story about that once. And he's like, oh yeah, how did it end? And he's like, oh, they both died. And he's like, what? Like, because he's like, that's not a good story ending at all. And then he sees, like, explosions and, like, smoke coming from or he heads over to the garden, because he sees, like, stuff is in trouble. And then when he gets there, like, the two gardens are, like, going against each other, like, at full war. Like, the red team is, like, throwing tomatoes, and the blue side is, like, just everything's going to mayhem and destruction. And, like, there's this mad lawnmower that one of the blue gnomes bought on the internet. It absolutely destroys everything in its path. And then when this is all going down, Gnomeo makes it, and then Juliet discovers that he's alive. And then when he tries to get her to escape, obviously her feet are stuck, so he tries to, like, get her off the pedestal, but obviously she can't. And obviously the lawnmower that's destroying everything is about to head for them, and she's trying to tell Gnomeo to go, like, to leave, just leave. And he's like, I'm not going. He looks straight in her eyes, and he says, I'm not going anywhere. And then they kiss, and then the lawnmower hits them, and it's nothing but rubble. And obviously, people are hurt and stuff. And obviously, everybody thinks that, like, that they're gone. And when they decide, or when they see that, like, all this needless violence because of a stupid feud happened, that they both lost their children. Both the blue and the red team lost somebody of importance. They decide to stop it, and they say that the feud is over. And then they accidentally step on a button, which causes like a reaction with the rubble, and it causes like shifting, and then you see like little gnome hands come up, and then it's Gnomeo, so he ends up being okay. And then it's like a breathe of relief, but then obviously where's Juliet? And then obviously goes to pick her up, and then she's okay too. And then you see both teams are like cheering for them and stuff. And he says to her, I don't know about you, but I like this ending a lot better. And she nods, and then they kiss. And then you see the two owners of the two houses walk into the house, and then they both scream. Obviously because of all the destruction, because they always think it's the other person destroying it, and it's not. Obviously it's the gnomes. So, and then that ends the movie. It's a beautiful movie. I think it's like a funny turn on a classic. Like, obviously, you know, it's a different look on something that's been done over and over again. And I think it's an interesting way of looking at things. Like, I like it, you know, it's really good. If I had to rate it 1 out of 5, I'll give it a 5, because I like the message of nothing. If you really like something, or I guess someone in this case, you know, don't let others get in your way. Don't let stupid, like, thoughts or opinions, I guess, like, it shouldn't matter, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you like something or someone, you know, go after it, or them, you know, I support you. But that wraps up this video. If you have any suggestions, write it down in the comments, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!